Gunther has won back his World Heavyweight Championship from Jey Uso, who he lost it to at WrestleMania 51 days ago. Yes, Jey Uso's title reign lasted a total of 51 days. His original Intercontinental Championship lasted 28 days. So he doesn't seem to have the longest runs, and that is a shame. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm not the biggest Jey Uso fan. No, let me rephrase it. I'm not the biggest YEET fan.
No YEET.
I am a fan of Jey Uso. I enjoyed Jey Uso in the Bloodline. I enjoyed Jey Uso when he left the Bloodline because it was about this guy who had been fighting for his family and eventually had to leave his family for whatever reason. And he was trying to find his own way away from his family, away from his twin brother, away from all of that. He was main event Jey Uso. He was no longer the right-hand man. And I enjoyed that work. But then the YEET started. And then the YEET took over. And sure, it was pretty fun in the beginning. You know, there's this cool, catchy new catchphrase that they're using. He's got a really cool entrance. But then for some reason, it just took over his character to a whole new level. And that some reason is merchandise sales. Took over his character to a whole new level. To the point where in recent weeks, when Cody Rhodes is on the mic and Jey Uso is standing next to him, the only thing Jey Uso says is YEET. Oh, YEET is literally, that's all he says and that's all he provides. Or the YEET down. Let's not forget the YEET down. Terrible. And that kind of drew me away from this Jey Uso character because it feels childish and I am not a child.
Are you sure about that?
So I think that's why I kind of drew away from it. I enjoy Jey. I respect Jey for what he's done. I was in a group chat with some guys and they were like, you know what? Jey Uso really went from the bottom. He wasn't seen as the potential single star even in the tag team with Jimmy. Jimmy was seen as that guy. Obviously in the Bloodline, Jey was kind of just on the side for a large portion until things started really getting going with him and Sammy. And, you know, he built himself to where he got and he won the World Championship at WrestleMania. Total respect, and I like the guy as a person, I think. Just the YEET stuff got too much for me. Now, in saying that, did I think he should have lost on Monday Night Raw to Gunther 51 days after winning the title? No, I don't think Gunther should have beat him clean like he did. I do not think this was the right choice. In all honesty, I was thinking so many other options. I was thinking a potential Goldberg interference that costs Gunther the match. I was thinking a Seth Rollins Money in the Bank cash-in potentially. I was thinking, hell, even Sami Zayn heel turn, but that was low on the list. There was so many options that I was thinking were going to happen. And a clean Gunther win was not one of them. But that's what we got. We got Gunther beating Jey Uso clean. They were going back and forth with sleeper holds because that's obviously how Jey Uso beat Gunther at WrestleMania, which I enjoyed that aspect of it. So a little bit of storytelling, ring psychology. This match was really good as well. It was good. It was a well thought out match. Jey is getting better and better with his in-ring work because that is a criticism I've had and other people have had in the past, that with his YEETness, I feel like his wrestling went a little bit one-dimensional as well, and he got his 5 moves of doom, and that was that. When I know he can do more. With that being said, we have a new champion, and he won it clean, 0 interferences. What does this mean for Jey Uso? I don't know what this means for Jey Uso, because if there was some sort of interference, you could see a clear storyline from there onwards, but there isn't one. It's kind of like just a big stop in the road for Jey Uso. Like, where does he go from here? Do you just decide to reunite the Usos and go for that again? I don't know. I feel like it's almost beneath Jey Uso right now. It really does feel that way. But then again, Jimmy could use the help. Jimmy could definitely use the help because he's just been there on SmackDown, putting in decent work, but doing nothing. Having matches here and there that are for the sake of having matches. Teaming with Rey Fenix. You know, none of this really meant anything. What does it mean for Gunther? I don't know either. Where does he go on from here? I do think we'll somehow get I think the plan was Goldberg. But there was a story last week. I don't know how true the story is, where the source came from. I just saw it. I don't even remember how reliable it was. I don't think that many people were talking about it. But something about Goldberg potentially injuring himself in training, as he was potentially setting up for a match with Gunther. Now, I do think that was a Saudi match that they wanted. But I don't think it's going to happen, because if it was, it would have happened tonight. But then again, in saying that, how do you have the interference and have Gunther win? So maybe that's going to happen in the coming weeks. Maybe Goldberg will appear. He will return at some point in the coming weeks. I don't know, but that is a match that seems like it's been on the cards for a very long time. Seems like it's going to happen at some point. And you know what? Do it. Let Gunther get the win and let's move on. If not, where does Gunther go on from here? Maybe Sami Zayn wins King of the Ring and that's a story from there. But we've seen Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the IC title and for the World Heavyweight title. I think he lost the World Heavyweight title match. So do we want to see that again? I don't think so. I don't. And I'm a Sami Zayn fan. But I don't want to see that match again. So there's kind of a real stop in the road here and no clear way forward for the fans on what's going to happen next, which is fine. Of course, they will have their way forward. We don't need to see everything as fans. We are not psychic. We don't know everything about pro wrestling, nor should we know everything about pro wrestling. But there's definitely various options they could go with here. Where does Seth Rollins fit into all of this? He came out with the Cena and CM Punk situation and kind of held up the briefcase and just gave them a little bit of a message. Didn't do that with Gunther at the end of the night. I would have liked for that to happen. At the end of the night, Gunther celebrating, Seth Rollins comes out, shows the briefcase as well. That way it keeps us in both minds that Seth could be going for either title. So, you know what? A lot of this is really up in arms here. Jey Uso is... This is a real turning point for Jey. A moment which will either send him back down the card or he will somehow stay up there. But I feel like him staying up there is going to be tough because that's what he was doing for a long time before he won the world title. Teaming with Sammy, teaming with Cody, teaming with CM Punk, teaming with Seth for some time before Seth turned heel. All of that was happening, and not just teaming, but you know how Triple H books his shows. There's always a group of good guys and a group of bad guys. And to be honest, right now, for once, this episode of Raw, there wasn't that. Everybody went on and did their own thing. Seth went on and, CM Punk went on and did his thing with Cena. Sammy went on and won the King of the Ring qualifying match to go to the semi-finals. And Jey Uso had his match with Gunther. For once, they weren't all involved in one storyline, which has been going on for a very, very long time. So you guys let me know. This isn't a very long video. This is quite a short video, but I just wanted to talk about Jey Uso losing his World Heavyweight Championship. A lot of people are happy about it. A lot of people aren't happy about it. It's definitely divided the IWC. There's people out there that were complaining about Jey Uso, but are now complaining about Gunther winning the title back. So they don't know where they stand, to be honest. There's people that were complaining about Jey Uso and are now happy about Gunther winning. I'll probably fall somewhere in the middle of that. I don't think now was the time for Jey to lose a title. Was I happy with him as a world champion? Maybe not. But I still want to reap the rewards of that title run while it's there. I don't want to just move on, because that feels like we're killing two birds with one stone. That feels like not only am I not happy about the story, but then I also want to kill it there and kill any future storytelling that could happen. That's just silly. Sure, I'm not happy with him as champion, but let's try and make the most of it. That was my idea going into this. I may have bantered around with people and said, let's get rid of Jey, let's move on, let's have Gunther beating him. But at the end of the day, I just want a good story. And I think you could have told a really good story, potentially even with like a Roman coming back. That's far-fetched and out of this realms of possibility, but that could have been something interesting. You know, Jey as champion, Roman looking at him as champion, something there. Who knows? Roman wants the title. He always wants a title. Maybe not that title, but there was just stories that could have been told that I think weren't told. And I think Jey had how many title defenses? Let's look at that now for a moment. He had a title defense against... Who was his first title defense now? I can't even remember who he fought. Oh, Logan Paul was a title defense. Interference. Seth Rollins was a title defense. Interference. Did he have any others? He might have. He might have had another one on Raw that probably ended in a DQ. But an underwhelming title reign for a big moment for a lot of people at WrestleMania, and a big moment for Jey Uso at WrestleMania. So, with that being said, we'll see you guys next time in the next video. With that, take care. Peace.